What up, real ones? You're watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. I hope everybody had a good weekend. If you have an NFL team, I hope your team won. Let's go Giants, 1-0. That was a crazy win yesterday. We got some rumors to get to. We'll talk about those. Then on the tail end of the show, let's talk about Julius Randle. He was active on social media this weekend, and it looks and seems like he could be primed for a bounce-back season. We'll talk about that and why his stats with one player on this roster give me some hope. But first, let's talk about the rumors that sparked up over the weekend around Bojan Bogdanovic, the small forward from the Utah Jazz. According to NBC Sports, the Knicks are interested in a Bogdanovic trade. They weren't the only team that was linked, as the Suns, Lakers, and Mavs were the other three teams that were mentioned in these Bogdanovic trade rumors. He has 1 year on his current deal left, worth about $19 million, so an expiring $19 million deal. The Knicks, they'd have to get creative on ways to match that salary. We'll break that down in a second. But first, before we say yes, before we say no, let's just talk about the player that Bojan is. He's one of the best and most consistent three-point shooters in the association. I mean, in the last 4 years, he hasn't dipped under 38.7% from downtown. He definitely can shoot it. He can stretch the floor. He's an average to below average defender at best, but you're getting a guy that can score 17, 18, 19 points per night, catch and shoot. A very similar player to Fournier. I'd say a little bit better defensively, but a little bigger as well, can play the three compared to strictly the two. But this is a guy that can shoot the lights out. But the question is, who would you give up in a Bojan Bogdanovic trade? Remember, he has about $19 million on his salary, so he'd have to get to about $16, $17 million, which would only leave a couple of players, right? I mean, Evan Fournier makes about $18 million. Derrick Rose makes about $4 million. Cam Reddish about $5 million. They're not trading Obi. They're not trading not trading Obi, not trading Quickly, not trading Grimes. There's not a lot of people left on the table to trade. So I think the only logical people that could be traded are Derrick Rose on a $14 million expiring deal and Cam Reddish on a $5 million expiring deal. So you're pretty much giving the Jazz a player in Cam Reddish that has some potential. I see it. You guys see it, no doubt about it. But does Danny Ainge see it? That's the question. You're getting Derrick Rose to match the salary of Bogdanovic, and then you sweeten the pot a little bit with 2 second-round picks. I'll ask you guys this question. Would you make this deal? I think Bogdanovic could slide in, be your starting small forward. I'd love for it to be Grimes, but Bojan is a better player right now, obviously much older and into his prime, but he would definitely stretch the floor and add another shooter. But I'll ask you this. Would you do the trade? Rose, Reddish, 2 second-round picks for Bojan Bogdanovic, type A for accept or type D for decline. And I know we said it was done on the show. And what I mean by that is type in FDA, F Danny Ainge. But the thing is, I ain't doing a trade with the Utah Jazz. They've soured on me. I'm not making a deal. So I know we said it was done. And we weren't going to do it anymore on the channel, but I lied. This is the face of a liar. I lied. We're bringing it back today. I'm still pissed off at Danny Ainge. So type FDA in the comments section, because not only would I not add really picks to make a trade for Bojan Bogdanovic, definitely not a first-round pick, I don't want to do any business with the Utah Jazz that can even make them remotely better now or in the future. So I want everybody to type FDA for maybe the last time on the channel. Let's get the comment section going. Also, subscribe to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. We're trying to get to 14,000 subs for our guy Mace. Look, the trade rumors are going to continue to heat up. Our coverage is going to continue to heat up. If you're a first-time watcher of New York Knicks Now, you're like, why would I subscribe? It's because we put out videos every single day, 7 days a week, as well as we go live on Wednesdays. So if you're looking for a one-stop shop on YouTube, news, rumors, post-game shows, analysis, fun, entertaining, this is your channel. Hit that big red button. Let's get to 14,000 subs for our guy Mace. Let's talk about Julius Randle here for a little bit. Is he primed for a bounce-back season. He did a lot of posting on social media over the past couple of days. He looks in damn good shape. He looks thin. He looks spry. He looks athletic. He's working on a couple different moves. He was making some runs, some basketball runs with Chris Brickley, the trainer in New York. He was working with Jalen Brunson. He had the one-legged lefty floater. I feel like he's going to abuse that this season. And I like the move. And he looks to be in great shape. And I feel like Julius Randle could have a bounce-back season. And at the end of the day, I want everyone to understand this. If Randle is a Knick, he should produce. And what do I mean by that? He finally doesn't have to be the engine of the offense, like Tom Thibodeau says. He has people he can rely on. He can rely on Jalen Brunson. He can rely on R.J. Barrett. He doesn't have to be the engine of this offense. When you look at the stats from the past 4 seasons, this past year we all know didn't work out so well, right? The raw numbers are good, 20, 10, but it's the efficiency. 41% from the field is unacceptable, especially for a power forward, and 30% from downtown is egregious. That just cannot happen. But can he get back to that 2020 player where he averaged 24, 10, 45 from the field and 41% from 3? I'm not sure he can, but can he get somewhere in between 2021 and 2020? Can Julius Randle average 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, shoot 44% from the field and 35% from 3? If he can, that would be a solid player in the NBA. We're going to get to some stats that Julius Randle has with one player on this team that I think can elevate him in a second. But first, make sure you get yourself a real one. New York Knicks Now t-shirt. These have been flying off the shelves. The numbers are crazy. You guys have been showing mad love. The Real One crew is only going to continue to grow. The bandwagon's getting full. Good luck trying to run behind it. If you know, you know. Go to chatsports.com/realknicks. Get your t-shirt. It's swaggy. Feels great. I got mine. I sleep in it every night. Get yours today. chatsports.com/realknicks. These were the stats I was talking about. Julius Randle's stats this past season when he played with Derrick Rose were the best numbers he put up all season long. He averaged 20 points, 9.5 rebounds, 5 assists. The raw numbers were the same. But the efficiency when Derrick Rose was on the court takes a large leap. 43.5% from the field and 36% from downtown. Remember, Randle shot 40% from the field and 30% from downtown over the whole course of the 2021 season. Without Derrick Rose, the numbers dove right down and looked terrible. 20 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. Looks great, but the efficiency is the problem. 40% from the field, 27% from 3. Obviously, when a point guard's on the court, Julius Randle is going to be more of an efficient player. You get a guy in his spots to be successful. Doesn't have to dribble the air out of the basketball. Doesn't have to be a one-on-one ISO god. He can be a real power forward. And I like that for Randle. I think a guy like Jalen Brunson can get the most out of a guy like Julius. Jalen Brunson, he's a winner. He has that dog mentality. He's just a hooper, and he is a point guard. And that's what this team needed, and that's what Julius Randle needed. But I do have a worry. Will Julius Randle buy in to having a smaller role? Because this team will continue to not be a winning franchise as long as Julius Randle is on the roster and he thinks he has to go ISO Randle and be the engine of the offense and have to do the jab step drill in the ISO in the mid post. We can't have that. I want to see Randle get back to being a slasher, someone that attacks the rim. Because when you got a guy like Jalen Brunson that averaged 16 points per game last season and about 5 assists, I think he's going to be closer to 20 points per game and 7-8 assists this year for the Knicks. You have a point guard that can control the pace, is a good facilitator, knows how to play the game. He can get you the ball in the spots Randle needs to be effective. I want to see a pick and pop with Brunson and Randle. I want to see a pick and roll. I want to see Randle get back to being someone that works from the elbow down instead of the elbow out. Attack the rim. Be that bully. Play with that bulldog mentality and that bulldozer strength that made you admired and loved by this New York Knicks fan base. I think Randle is primed to have a good year. I don't know if he's ever going to be that most improved player, but I do think he can be a winning basketball player. He just has to take a step back and say, I don't have to be the savior anymore. And I think that will take a lot of pressure off his shoulder. At the end of the day, Julius Randle plays for the New York Knicks. He puts on the orange, white, and blue just like everybody else. And for that reason alone, I know I've said some things about Randle. I'm not the biggest fan. But if he's a Knick, I'm going to root for him because that's what I do. I would never root against somebody that put on the orange and blue. So let's rally behind Julius Randle and let's show him some love. Type number 30 in the comments section because if he's a Knick, it's my job and your job to root for him. Don't be weird. Don't root for against him. Let's have him see him have a big year. Type 30 in the comment section right now. I appreciate everybody, as always, that made New York Knicks Now a part of their day today. If you made it to the end of the video, you know the drill. Drop a real one in the comment section right now.